Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to IEM Shenzhen Season 9 kickoff event. It's the Hearthstone portion. We're in Group B. I'm Frodan, if you're anyone who's joining in just now, and I'm also joined on the cast by Masan, as well as RDU, who's playing in Group B, but after he just won his series, he's hopping on to cast some of his fellow group members. What's up, man? How'd your series go?
I won 2-1 versus the invited player from China that qualified, actually the qualifier from China. It was a really close set. So
Close. All right.
Yeah.
You almost lost?
Yep, I had 1-0. I played, after the bans, I had Druid and Miracle Rogue, and he had Miracle Rogue and Freeze Mage. So I started.
That's dicey.
I started Druid into his Freeze Mage and won. Also, he played with Giants, so it was a very hard matchup. Then he played Miracle Rogue with double Cold Blood, double Conceal. He had a Dream on turn 5, Auctioneer, Coin Conceal, Backstab Prep, Fan of Knives.
Oh my gosh.
And I was 1 damage of lethal. Then he won at 1-1. In the last game, he also had a very good hand, but I just rushed him down. I equipped my weapon, double deadly poison, eviscerate his face, and then next turn I killed him.
So barely squeaked by.
Yeah, he played again Auctioneer with Conceal and stuff, so he was a really good player.
Okay. So their competition is pretty fierce in China, but RDU, you're going to be playing the winner of this series, which is Tyson, the man you see on your screen, and jackychan, the guy now you see on your screen. He's from Hong Kong. Tyson is from Japan. Now, these are two regions you don't hear too much about in Hearthstone, but I do want to remind people that Japan is known for being really good at card games, whether it's like Magic the Gathering and other previous games. So we don't know too much about these players and the region as a whole, but I don't think we should underestimate what the Japanese can be capable of. What do you think, Masan?
I think you're exactly right. I don't know which region they play in. They probably play an Asian server, correct?
Probably, yes, most likely.
All right. I mean, Asian server is, at least at the high-level players, are at par with, as far as the metagame goes, NA and EU, I think. So it should be very good.
I think so, too. Do you know anything about these players? Because you're doing... RDU is a player who loves doing research on his opponents. Did you find anything out specifically about these two guys?
Yeah, that they played Druid, both of them. And that's pretty much all. But I know that they like the meta. And I know that jackychan, I talked to him, he likes to play Miracle Rogue a lot.
So we have the Rogue and the Druids. Unfortunately, we didn't get to hear who their picks and bans were, but it seems like we do have the Rogue versus Druid. Very traditional matchup that we've been seeing a lot. But it does have these cards that we've seen that Asian players really like Mark of the Wilds. It seems to be in almost every single deck of these Asian players.
Yeah. Usually Rogue is favorite in this matchup. Actually, Rogue is favorite in almost all the matchups. But the Druid can also do good if he has an Innervate or if he plays Wild Growths.
Right. And he plays on curve every single turn, and Rogue doesn't have exactly the removal it needs to keep up with the draws.
We also saw that the Rogue guy plays Sinister Strike, 1 or 2. So that kind of deck is pretty good in the mirror match. Wars versus other matches. It's still okay. But both players have bad hands, so we should see how they...
Very slow starts.
Yeah.
Rogue is not on the coin, doesn't have the gadget stand immediately, and it's not like jackychan is sitting on a lot of great cards either. He has things to play in curve, but ideally an Innervate would clean up a lot of that hand.
Oh, Wild Growth might be there.
All right. SI7.
This is a good play because he forces the Wrath, and if the opponent doesn't have a Wrath, he sets himself in a very good position. Also, he doesn't have mana to play Harvest Golem and Drawf at the same time.
You know, we kind of quickly assumed it'd be a mid-range Druid, but it seems like that Ancient of War implies it's a ramp.
It looks like a ramp. It might be between ramp and mid-range. It depends if he runs combo or not. Did he?
He does. He has one combo, so it's a mid-range ramp.
Yeah, mid-range ramp. It's very common. At least on America.
Sure. Now, it's again, these guys do have the option to ban, and it seems like Rogue has been the most common ban, generally speaking, but he didn't ban it against Tyson, so I'm curious what jackychan might have chosen.
Because maybe the opponent, maybe she just banned Rogue, one of them, and the Druid probably banned the Druid because he thinks that his Druid is good
so
versus...
they might have banned whoever they're playing against.
Maybe the Druid thinks that his Druid is very good in the mirror match, and no, in the Rogue match, and he wants to take the mirror match.
Well, could be a possibility. Forced to use swipe directly on the SI7. Do you like that, Masan?
I don't know if I like it. I think I'd rather go for
Oh my god.
first.
this top deck.
That is great. Get the draws going. The backstabs will be devastating. Picks up SI7 as well. Very nice.
One backstab is good, but two backstabs is just too much.
Well, let's repeat what just happened again. Deja vu.
He should have a raft first. Or maybe he wants to use hero power. Yeah. But
because then it does ruin kind of the curve of the next 2 turns if you want to push out double 7s.
True, but if he has another, let's say, auctioneer or another Zerdrig, then he has no removal left over.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind, he's going to use the Wrath.
I think Raft is better because you might want a 6-drop or you might want the Innervate.
Sure.
Now he relies on the top deck. Of course, he can play a Zerdrake on turn 6 or just Keeper of the Groove hero power to clean something, but
Yeah, especially with whatever drops, like another 5-drop of some sort. So
now he just plays a sign pass. It's pretty bad.
yeah, very weak turn, especially if you can't use the battle cry.
Rogue's hand was good at countering the Druid's hand, but he cannot counter anything because the Druid doesn't play any monster. So I don't see the Rogue very good unless he draws Auctioneer in the next 1 or 2 turns. He needs Auctioneer next turn.
He has a Leroy in hand, and his opponent's kind of been whittling down health, but he needs to get some draws going immediately.
He has the Conceal, so Auctioneer Conceal might get him the saps, and he really needs sap on turn 7. That's next turn because
especially for the Ancient of Wars.
Yeah, so he has 2 turns to draw into sap and something to maintain the board pressure for the Druid. I don't know. It will be an interesting game.
Now, if you're Jackie, do you put down one of the... I mean, he's pretty much deciding between the 2 4s at this moment.
I think it's better to just rough the SI and just play the Shenzhen. It's a really good card versus Rogue.
Yeah.
It's one of the best.
The 5 health is really annoying. They need to have the spell power with Eviscerate.
Also, he knows that his opponent played both SI7s, so the only good way to get rid of the Shenzhen is backstab SI and hero power, or just Deadly Poison and SI.
Or
backstab.
Thalnos Eviscerate, that kind of combo. But
yeah. Now he can backstab and take face damage.
Synergy Strike is not Gadget Sand.
Pretty bad hand. Now he has to clear the board and redagger. Maybe we will see a Leroy YOLO. He can do that if he wants. How much damage does he have? He has 15 damage. And he needs more than 1 Shadow Step to win, so he should probably not go YOLO now.
Yeah. And plus it gives his opponent whelps. You don't know if he has like Innervate combo and put yourself into like death. There's times where stuff like that happens.
Innervate combo is 20 damage with 2 helps.
That is true.
So if he had a better hand, like with some Eviscerates or something, he could just go YOLO. But he doesn't know if his opponent is ramp or mid-range, because he didn't see any big taunt. Most mid-range is around Engine, but now he will see the Ancient of 4.
He's going to be really sad when this comes out.
Yep.
Well, the opponent can still draw into Auctioneer, and then from the Conceal to draw in Prep or in Sap. Imagine that.
You can't really ever discount the Miracle Rogue if they have the Gadget Sand. And it's always kind of been that case for the Druid. It's you wonder if whether or not what you do is okay, but it depends on the draw of the Rogue player.
I think Ancient of Lore is better. War just stops the Leroy combo whenever, but Lore sets him far away because he draws cards and his opponent cannot sap that. And he had trouble dealing with the Shenzhen. If he had the Thalnos and the Eviscerate, he would have used it on this one. So it would be really hard for him to get rid of the Lore. And the Lore also draws him to cards that can be the Force of Nature he wants. I'm sure he only runs 1 piece of every of the combo parts because he cannot run both.
He's going to go for the really safe play and heal himself.
The maximum damage he could have had is 19, and eventually you should count with a Prep Evis. So 23.
So that was why he healed for 5
Yep.
then?
Yeah.
Respecting it. That's assuming his opponent had every single card he needed too. That was the 6 cards, right?
Well, the sap, so the Ancient of Lore play is way better. Now he cannot sap that because if he saps it, he will just play it again and draw more cards.
Yeah.
He's really in a very bad situation. He should... YOLO Leroy is also not good because if he draws into Swords of Nature, he wins. But I think YOLO Leroy is the only way. But what does he need from the top deck?
Well, so you get the 7 damage in. The next turn you have Shadow Step with the attack again, assuming you're able to have it live. 12.
You need
15.
5.
You need 5 damage, so a Shadow Step of some sort.
Just Shadow Step, I think.
Yeah, there's no other way.
Oh my
But
god.
he's just going to play it out. He's just going to play it, but he can't necessarily win the next turn. Oh my goodness, this is going to be devastating. Again, he has a sap, which allows him to stall, but how much are you going to be able to stall for if you just don't have a way to directly win?
Yep. Now if he draws Shadow Step, he will be very mad.
Well, sometimes you gotta do it, and that's why you're the DreamHack champion.
Well, I wouldn't do it now in this situation
sure, but
versus Druid. Because there is no immediate pressure.
there was a time though when you had to.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Surgery?
I think
Instead of
Ancient of
War.
Lore was better to draw cards. Or even if he wanted to heal, he could just heal to 30. He sees his opponent doesn't have any answer for the first Ancient of Lore. If he healed to 30
he
HP,
drew
he
into the
Sure.
lore with
Oh,
Surgery.
sorry. I didn't see that. I wasn't paying attention. Well, yeah, it might be good, but it also might be very bad if the opponent draws something good. Well, now he has lethal if he plays the Leroy. So if he does the YOLO Leroy, his opponent will have lethal.
Preparation.
Now he just lost.
Yeah. I know Tyson realizes that he's got nothing.
1 out of like 9 or 10 games, you get hands like this. And if you play Sinister Strike even more, like with Sinister Strike, 1 out of 5 games, you get a very bad hand like this. And you just have to hope for auctioneer draw.
Yeah, even though as much as it's great to combo and everything like that, you draw a card with the Gadgetzan very cheap. It's efficient, just like the Cold Blood. Sometimes just it's dead. And then now he goes for a Leroy play, but unfortunately that plays directly into the Savage Roar. As much as it saps and it's great, you prevented that 5 damage. He's going to be taking 4 right back. Oh, actually 6.
Oh my god. Just to overkill.
Oh, man.
Why not?
As if that mattered. And Jackie will take this first game against Tyson, and unfortunately that's what happens with Miracle. You just don't draw Gadgetzan. He drew, what, 16 cards deep into his deck and no sign of the Auctioneer.
Yeah, Druid is more consistent than Miracle, because even without combo, you can just rely on other cards.
Sure, sure.
Oh,
So-
we see a mage there.
So we have the mage possibility. Maybe that was banned as well. But now Tyson, we're going to see what he's going to do. He looks like I think he was hovering over his Druid, right? So we might have a Druid mirror.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually in the Druid mirror, whoever gains board control wins the game. Because, for example, you play an Azure Drake, your opponent has to swipe your Azure Drake to kill the
Right.
board. And then you just play another monster and he has to get rid of that.
Respond to it
And
every time.
Yeah.
It's hard to develop and clear the board in the Druid mirror without the convenience of something like
Yeah.
Innervate early on. And even then, sometimes the Innervate early on just snowballs the game because you're always spending your cards to try to remove it. And then they play an Ancient of Lore and they get so far ahead, doesn't even matter. Oh, a Starfall. Okay.
No, he just plays the Yeti and gains a lot of advantage. His opponent will not have any answer.
That's great. So it looks like it's more of the later ramp because Starfall is not a very common card in mid-range.
It's pretty common in ramp though.
Well,
it
yeah,
used
so
to
I'm
be.
saying the ramp more version.
So just Wrath, kill 3, and pass a turn, I suppose. It's the only
That
move I
just
see.
feels awful.
I know.
Yeah.
You don't really have an answer to this.
Because hero powering almost feels, it just feels so weak. You're going to be taking that damage in response. You're not going to attack the 80 directly because then you put yourself lower.
He can rough now or he can rough on turn 4. It's probably the same thing, but maybe if he uses rough now, he can draw into a Yeti or another turn 4 play.
Tastingo.
And probably the Yeti will just go face and ignore all the monsters because he wants to get as much damage as possible. And that's really good.
All right, so he chooses the Wrath.
He has a very good curve, but that Innervate destroyed his game. Also, we see Starfall, a very interesting card. Maybe it's because of the aggro meta that is played in China.
Yeah, we heard from Nimsh that Chinese players really love
Yeah.
playing the aggro decks.
And they love Freeze Mage. Like, I think that until now, all the players that are from Asia had Mage. One player ran aggro like I saw like 3 freeze mages, and including this in this game.
And it's not necessarily even like directly freeze mage with just burns, but they also play
Yeah.
like a lot of creatures and stuff in the freeze mage, like water elementals and stuff.
Or
so.
giants. My opponent
Oh, yeah,
played
or
giants.
giants, that's right.
Played 4 giants and Antonidas. So, but that's a slow deck, and it has also counters.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
I don't agree here. You should just go face because
The Hearthstone
your
was
opponent.
going to trade
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
it anyways.
Your opponent wants to get rid of the Yeti. He has no need to do that.
Yeah, so basically he just essentially gave his opponent 4 life by doing that.
Well, maybe he played around Keeper of the Grove. That was
probably
the
is as
only. Yeah, Keeper of the Grove would be really bad for that. Maybe, yeah, that was the reason. And now, it's kind of an equal game, but the other player has a better mana curve.
Yeah. He also has initiative, so he can start putting stuff on the board.
Yeah, Jackie Chan has a really good mana curve.
Ooh! Picking up the innervate.
I don't think it was really needed, the Innervate, because he also had 5, 6, 7. Now he has 7, 6, 7, which is
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah,
A
but
little
I
bit
think,
better.
I think back to like really close Ancient of
God.
Lores in succession is just so devastating though.
Yeah. Also now he can play the Ancient of War on turn 7 and the Sunwalker. Sunwalker is really hard to remove by as being a druid. Also Ancient of War. Yeah. Druids have problems dealing with big
yeah,
monsters.
they need like big Black Knight or something like that.
Yeah,
in
Black
order to come
Knight.
back.
Black Knight is the only way. And maybe now he will play that Sunwalker to bait out the Black Knight. Or he will play the Azur to play around Black Knight. But I don't think he wants to play around Black Knight. He wants to make a big taunt on turn 7.
Yeah.
So,
And you already use a Keeper of the Grove too, so ideally you can knock off some of the stuff with silence.
yep.
Huh.
Man.
And now it's kind of uneven because Tyson has to. If he would spend his turn removing, then his opponent drops a 7-drop, and now momentum has gone the opposite way.
Now he can clear with either Rough Hero Power or just Force of Nature. In both cases, he loses his board. And on the empty board, the opponent will again play Ancient of Lore, probably, because that's what
Right.
you play on the empty board. So as I said, in the Druid mirror match, who gets the pressure first wins. He can just play. Now, this guy cannot play Ancient of Lores because he's in a very bad position.
Right. He has
cannot
to keep
afford.
answering the board.
Yeah, he needs to answer the board. Because if you don't answer the board, your opponent can just combo you.
He is floating at pretty high health though, so as much as he is worried about potentially something like that, the combo wouldn't kill him outright. So
Oh, man.
Tyson gives up his entire board, and that's going to give up a really easy turn 7 for Jackie Chan.
Yep. I don't know if I like that over Wrath. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Wrath was better. Maybe he wants to keep Wrath for Ancient of Lore. Maybe. I don't know. But also he could use Force of Nature. Maybe he wanted to use all his mana. Because you can Swift Wrath better into your mana curve, then you can... Now he makes this play because he saw his opponent didn't play Black Knight.
Right.
And now a Black Knight top deck would be devastating.
Yeah, but I think you can take that risk because then
Yeah, you can.
the odds are really in your favor.
It was a 1 in 18, and that's really low. It's lower than 4%. Actually, it's like 4%. Lower than 5. Yeah, it's pretty low. You can't take that. Now he should trade because his opponent drew 2 cards. One more that comes next turn. So maybe it's Black Knight. You should just play around that by...
Maybe
can
it's a
also-
silence too.
yeah. He has a lot of ways to deal with the board. If he had 9 mana, he could just Azure Drake swipe to clear that. I think a good play would be just to play Azure Drake and trade.
Let's see what you draw first.
Again, if he had 9 mana, he could Azure Drake, Rough Hero Power to clear the board. Now maybe he's thinking about going Ancient of Lore, drawing cards and going full face. Or just Ancient of Trade and then heal the 5/10 back. But that does not play around Black Knight.
Yeah. And the only thing that you benefit off of that would be to potentially... Oh, wow. Healing himself. I was going to say, if you heal up the Ancient of War, it's only if you have something like Faceless to back it up. So that way you can have 2 Ancient of Wars really stacked. Not really the case here.
But I don't understand why he did that and not draw cards. Maybe he wanted to be sure he doesn't die. But
How can you die from that position?
I don't
though?
know. I don't
He's
know.
just threatened the force of nature.
This play
Oh.
feels...
I guess he values health as very highly in this matchup.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should value health, but with 3 removal cards and 1 piece of the combo, you should
Nice.
want good cards and better cards. Now he can just play a
Cycle
Zoid
twice.
Drake
And Wrath.
and eventually innervate out the Shenzhen and get the enough damage to use combo next turn and win the game.
Yeah, positioned himself to be very successful. So Jackie Chan's got all the cards he needs. He even has swipe as a way to kind of, like, say if his opponent puts up really annoying taunts, he can just swipe things down and then set up another combo next turn.
Now he has a lot of damage. His opponent needs the combo to at least try to click the board, and he doesn't have it. Also, this kind of druid
Needs
that
a swipe or something.
Tyson plays more mid-range oriented without taunts, from what I saw. So having no taunts in this matchup is just... Now he will again use the combo to show off.
Yeah, that's about it. So Jackie Chan wins this series 2-0 very quickly. In RDU, you get a quick scouting report on what your opponent is. You feel confident going up against Jackie?
Yeah, I feel pretty confident going against every player in this tournament. So yeah, it's a very good opponent. I talked to him before, and I expect this to be a good game.
Well, overall, Jackie Chan, maybe not the only person, or sorry, Maz, maybe not the only person that's talented in Hong Kong when it comes to Hearthstone. I was about to say Jackie Chan, not the only one talented. That would be a mistake. Now, Tyson, in the end, didn't really get to represent too much. You get that in best of threes. Sometimes the draws don't favor your way. Game 1, didn't get the Auctioneer.
Yep.
In Game 2, he did get a really good start with the Yeti, but even though he didn't necessarily made the best trades with it, it still felt like the game momentum was seized away from him at a certain point, which was sort of out of his control. That innervate into Ancient of Lore, and then the fact that he couldn't respond to it, and then the Ancient of War came out, wasn't able to respond to that. Tyson seemed like he was in trouble from the mid-game onwards.
Yes.
All right. So RDU, now you're going to go get ready for your series. I want to wish you good luck.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I really hope you do well. If you don't win, don't worry, because you'll still have another
I will
chance.
play. Yeah, I know.
All right, cool.
I'm in a good position right now. I really hope.
You're really confident, man. When I first saw you at DreamHack Bucharest, I know you said you didn't feel nervous, but I remember seeing you sit across Nimsh and how Nimsh is so big and towering and very imposing, and you looked a little scared, but then you ended up going top 4 in that event, and now here you are as one of the favorites to go all the way. I'm really happy to see how far you've come along.
At Bucharest, I think one of the reasons I lost was because I was too nervous in the semi-final, and I didn't want to repeat that again. So now I'm not nervous. I just...
If only it was that simple for most of the player base.
Yeah, you should not be nervous in a card game, because if you get nervous, you can make mistakes, and that can cost you. You should just think clear and do the plays.
Sure. Especially since a lot of the physical elements removed, so the nerves definitely shakes the mental bar, which is a big aspect, the most crucial aspect of this entire game. Hassan, any last words before we go to a quick break?
Nope, thanks for having me, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, RDU will be on the main stage. Let's see if he's going to be able to advance first place in his group.